Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to sit down. No, you're already sitting. Sit down harder. Because this week in Trump news was so dense, so layered, so aggressively unhinged that I had to fact check myself twice just to make sure I wasn't accidentally reading a rejected SNL script from 2019. I was not. Every single thing I'm about to tell you actually happened this week on planet Earth, the one we live on. Let's go. Donald Trump delivered the State of the Union address this week. And I want to start here because the very first fact about this speech is already a punchline. It was the longest State of the Union in at least 60 years. 60 years. We put a man on the moon in less time than it took to finish the speech. The Soviet Union collapsed faster. Some of you watching this video were conceived, born, and learned to walk in the time it would have taken to sit through this address. Now, to be fair, I watched it, I fact-checked it, and Trump declared with full confidence that America is entering a golden age. A golden age. Now, I don't want to be the guy who points out that during this golden age, the sitting congressman was physically escorted out of the chamber for holding up a sign. But I'm absolutely that guy, a man holding a sign removed from the people's house during a speech about freedom. That's not golden age, that's golden irony. The speech was so long that by the end, members of Congress were making the same face your family makes at minute 45 of Thanksgiving dinner. That specific look that says, I love you, but please, for the love of God, stop talking. 60 years. 60! The previous record holder must be furious. You spend decades holding that record and then boom, gone. Now, I want you to breathe before I say the next sentence. This week, Donald Trump proposed and I'm quoting directly here, friendly takeover of Cuba. A friendly takeover. I need someone to explain to me what is friendly about a takeover. The two words have never belonged in the same sentence ever in human history. Friendly takeover is like saying pleasant mugging. It's like saying cozy invasion. It's like saying relaxing coup. Trump said, and again, fact-checked, this is real, that Cuba's government has been in talks with his administration and that they want our help. They want our help. Cuba, the country that has spent 60 years telling America exactly where to go. The country whose entire national identity is partly built around not being helped by the United States. That Cuba apparently called us up and said, you know what? Come on over. I checked. Cuba's actual government responded by calling the proposal unacceptable, which for diplomacy is the equivalent of hanging up the phone mid-sentence. So, to recap, Trump announced a friendly takeover. Cuba said absolutely not. Trump said they want our help. Cuba said they do not want our help. That is either the boldest foreign policy move of the century or the most confident misreading of a room since someone looked at the Titanic and said, she'll be fine. All right, deep breath. We're going to Iran now. This week, Trump posted on Truth Social because, of course, he did, that his military leadership believes a war with Iran would be easily won. Easily won. I fact-checked everything, so I want to be precise. Trump did say this. It is real. It happened. And I want to be very clear that I'm not here to make light of the seriousness of military conflict. War is serious. Iran is in a serious geopolitical situation. The military assets currently building up in the region are very, very real, but easily won. Sir, easily. Vietnam said easily won. Iraq said easily won. Afghanistan said easily won. For 20 years, it said easily won. And then one day, we looked up and 20 years had gone by and nothing had been easily won. Trump then said in the same week, same news cycle, that he's not happy with Iran nuclear talks, but he'd give negotiators more time. So in 1 week, easily won, and let's negotiate. Which is it? Are we winning easily or are we talking? Because those two are very different outfits to show up in. It's like texting someone, we need to talk, and then immediately following it up with, or whatever, I'm chill. The Middle East is watching this and they don't know whether to call their lawyer or their therapist. The Supreme Court ruled this week that Trump's global tariffs, the one he slapped on basically every country on earth, violated federal law because he imposed them without congressional approval. The Supreme Court of the United States looked at the tariff and said no. Now, here's where it gets genuinely, beautifully, cosmically funny. The government has already collected tens of billions of dollars from these tariffs, and now nobody knows how to give it back. There is no plan. There is no mechanism. There's no giant vault somewhere with a sign that says refund, a window open 9 to 5. The government collected money it wasn't legally allowed to collect, and now it's sitting there. You know what? You know that feeling when you accidentally get charged twice for something and you call the company and they go, yeah, we see that. We're not really sure how to process the refund, and you're on hold for 40 minutes listening to smooth jazz? That is currently happening with billions of dollars at the Supreme Court level. The most powerful court in the land looked at this situation and essentially said, this is illegal and somehow also your problem now. Good luck. And finally, I want to end on something that is not about war or takeovers or illegal tariffs. I want to talk about the Kennedy Center Honors, which will now be called Trump Kennedy Center Honors. For those of you who don't know, the Kennedy Center Honors is one of the most prestigious cultural awards in America, named after John F. Kennedy, a president who was assassinated and memorialized with this award for the arts. It will now have Trump's name on it. JFK, Harvard graduate, World War II Navy veteran, 35th President of the United States, a man whose, quote, ask not what your country can do for you, is literally carved into marble, is now sharing a marquee. I don't want to editorialize. I'm a comedy channel. I just present the facts. But I will say this, somewhere in whatever comes after life, John F. Kennedy is making a face, and it's not a golden age face. So let's review the week, shall we? We had the longest State of the Union in 60 years, during which a congressman got bounced for holding a sign. We had a friendly takeover of Cuba, which Cuba found decidedly unfriendly. We had easily won war talk and peace negotiations in the same week about the same country. We had the Supreme Court rule that billions of dollars were collected illegally and nobody knows what to do with them. And we renamed an award honoring a murdered president. All of this happened this week in America. And you know what? I'm not outraged. I'm not exhausted. I'm here with you laughing about it, because laughing is how smart people survive the news cycle without losing their minds. Comedy is the last line of defense between reality and absolute chaos, and I am proud to be standing on that line. If you watch this whole video, congratulations. You're now more informed about this week's Trump news than the majority of people who spent the same amount of time doom scrolling Twitter, getting angrier, and learning approximately nothing. You laugh, you got the facts, you got the context. That's the deal here. Every video, every week. Subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment. Tell me which story this week made your jaw drop. Mine was Cuba. I'm still not over Cuba. Well, my name is Davy Jones Carpenter. This is Davy Jones Carpenter, and this right here is the good third of your life. Don't waste it. See you next video, which based on current events might be pretty soon.